So all these examples are actually giving us an idea how friction is very useful and sometimes is not actually useful. So the disadvantages are also there, and we need to overcome with this disadvantages with some techniques, because we are having brain and we can use it in different ways. Okay, so here are some tactics that actually helps you to reduce the friction. Okay, and that is the very famous thing that we do every day at our home. Okay, and especially in summer vacations. Okay, so that is how we can actually reduce friction, and there are some more ways by using the strategies and actually reducing it and making our efforts much more efficient. Okay, so here as you can see, reducing friction is very necessary for us too. Okay, so the first thing that we can do is putting oil. Yes, like at your home also you can see your father might doing like oiling the parts of your gates, doors, okay, and bicycle also. So putting oil is actually makes and work as a lubricant here. Okay, so lubricant actually in both the surfaces, like here is one surface and another surface, because the irregularities are there and they each get insert in the in this manner, they get insert in the irregularities of each other. So by applying the oil here, the oil will fill this surface, and because it is in liquid form, so it will actually help these two surfaces not to get rubbed with each other directly. Okay, so here as a lubricant the oil works very well, and it also reduces the part of getting heat up of anything. Okay, so here like the door is sometimes getting a sound, creaky sound should be there, then that creaky sound should gone if we are going to put some little oil there. Another same method we can use is providing the grease and the lubricants to the parts. Okay, here also some spare parts and some old parts of the machinery can be get newed and renewed by applying some grease and rubbing it with grease part. Okay, you might have seen your dad working like this at your home. Okay, so this all parts, previous and old machinery parts, can be renewed by actually rubbing it with grease, so that less friction would be there, any kind of rusting should be avoided. Okay, and greasing it with the greasing any kind of machinery part is actually getting avoid with the rusting thing also, and if it is rusted actually so can be rusted away if we apply grease over it. Okay, so here grease and lubricants works very well part, and we can actually reduce friction because of using this. So the third one is actually using wheels. As you know that rolling friction is the least magnitude friction compared to the sliding and the static friction. So here we can use rolling friction, and you can see various examples too. Here as the suitcase, you need to hold it like this for all time. Okay, and if the suitcase is going to be rolled over, okay, so now it is convenient for us to using this thing. Okay, so here by using the wheels or any rolling surface, we can actually reduce friction value. Okay, now another way is using the ball bearing. Okay, now what is ball bearing? This might be a new term for you people, but it is actually a small metal balls that is placed between any two surface that are actually a machine parts. Here is you can see that two rings are there, one ring and another ring is over it, and what we want in our according to our machine, that this part, this disc, outer disc should be roll over this inner disc like this. Okay, now if they are directly in contact with each other, then they will have friction value, and lots of friction value because lots of contacts would be there, and lots of friction value will get the heat up, and ultimately it will may get fire. Okay, now because we are using small balls in between, so these small balls actually help this outer surface to move over the inner surface in a very effective manner, that actually do not let the friction value to get high, because this this, only these surfaces are in contact with the outer one, and this and this are the contact with the inner surface. So it will help us to actually reduce the friction. Okay, so this kind of thing is actually known as ball bearings, and you might know and recognize it by seeing various parts at your home also, and if not, going and search for it. Okay, there are lots of examples you can see on the internet related to the machinery part which are having the ball bearing inserted in them. One more effective way that is actually used for reducing the friction is actually polishing the surface. As you have seen in slides and various metal parts that are actually get polished with a paint or other lubricants also, and they are not going to get friction value. Here if we are using the polishing surface actually because the surface which are having lots of irregularities get polished and get flattened by the polishing it, and actually giving the less amount of irregularities in between. Okay, now because it get polished, so it will have less amount of irregularities. Still it is having irregularities. We cannot say that it is now frictionless surface. It is not a frictionless surface. It is still have some kind of friction value here, but that friction value is actually too less now compared to the previous condition of the same thing. Okay, so here slides that are used by children are polished, and these reduce the friction and make it to be easier for children to play.